World War II was the deadliest conflict in human history. Between 1939 and 1945, almost every part of the planet was drawn into a war that killed tens of millions of people, destroyed empires, and reshaped the modern world. In this 10-minute video, we'll walk through the key events of World War II, how it started, how it spread, how it was fought, and how it finally ended. To understand World War II, we have to go back to the end of World War I. In 1919, the Treaty of Versailles punished Germany harshly. The country lost territory, paid huge reparations, and its army was limited. Many Germans felt humiliated and betrayed. During the 1920s and early 1930s, Germany suffered from economic crisis and hyperinflation, political instability, and deep resentment over Versailles. In this atmosphere, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party rose to power. They promised to restore Germany's greatness, tear up the Versailles Treaty, and expand eastward to gain living space, Lebensraum. At the same time, two other aggressive regimes were growing: Fascist Italy under Benito Mussolini and Imperial Japan, which was expanding in East Asia. In 1931, Japan invaded Manchuria in China. In 1935, Italy invaded Ethiopia. In 1937, Japan launched a full-scale war against China. The world saw the warning sign, but the major powers were reluctant to act. In Europe, Hitler began to openly break the Versailles rules. He rebuilt the German army. In 1936, he remilitarized the Rhineland. In 1938, he annexed Austria. Later that year, he took the Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia and then the rest of the country. Britain and France followed a policy called appeasement. They hoped that by giving Hitler some of what he wanted, they could avoid another world war. But on September 1st, 1939, Germany invaded Poland. 2 days later, Britain and France declared war on Germany. World War II had begun. In just a few weeks, Poland was crushed, attacked from the west by Germany and from the east by the Soviet Union, following a secret agreement between them. In 1940, Germany turned west. It invaded Denmark and Norway. Then, in May, it attacked Belgium, the Netherlands, and France. Using fast, coordinated attacks of tanks, aircraft, and motorized infantry, the so-called Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War, Germany defeated France in just 6 weeks. Britain now stood alone in Western Europe. In the summer and autumn of 1940, Germany tried to bomb the United Kingdom into submission in the Battle of Britain. The Royal Air Force resisted, and Hitler postponed the invasion. While the fighting continued in the air, Germany expanded further. It moved into the Balkans and prepared for its next huge gamble, an invasion of the Soviet Union, the Eastern Front, and global expansion. On June 22, 1941, Germany launched Operation Barbarossa, the largest land invasion in history, against the Soviet Union. Millions of German and Axis soldiers crossed the Soviet border. At first, the Red Army suffered catastrophic losses. German forces advanced rapidly, capturing vast territories and committing mass atrocities, especially against Jews and civilians. But the Soviet Union did not collapse. The front stretched from the Baltic Sea in the north to the Black Sea in the south. Brutal battles took place around Leningrad, which endured a terrible siege; Moscow, which Germany failed to capture in the winter of 1941 to 1942. At the same time, the war was truly global. In North Africa, German and Italian forces fought the British and later American troops in the desert. Greater than in the Atlantic, German U-boats attacked Allied shipping, trying to cut off supplies to Britain and the USSR. The war in the Pacific. While Europe was burning, Japan was expanding its empire in Asia and the Pacific. On December 7, 1941, Japan attacked the U.S. Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. The next day, the United States entered the war against Japan, and soon after, against Germany and Italy as well. Japan quickly captured Hong Kong, the Philippines, Malaya, and Singapore, the Dutch East Indies, and many Pacific islands. But within months, the momentum began to change. In 1942, the U.S. Navy won key victories in the Battle of the Coral Sea, and especially the Battle of Midway, where 4 Japanese aircraft carriers were sunk. From that point on, Japan was mostly on the defensive. The Allies adopted an island-hopping strategy. They captured key islands step by step, moving closer and closer to Japan itself. Battles like Guadalcanal, Saipan, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa were extremely bloody and costly for both sides. Turning points and the end of the war. In late 1942 and 1943, the Axis powers began to lose the initiative. In North Africa, the Allies won at El Alamein and then pushed German forces out of Africa. They invaded Italy in 1943. Mussolini was overthrown, and Italy eventually changed sides. On the Eastern Front, the turning point was the Battle of Stalingrad, 1942 to 1943. After months of brutal urban fighting, a German army was surrounded and forced to surrender. This was a devastating blow to Hitler's forces. From 1943 onward, the Red Army pushed westward, liberating Soviet territory and advancing into Eastern Europe. In the West, on June 6, 1944, D-Day, Allied forces landed in Normandy, France. The Western Allies broke out of the beaches, liberated Paris, and advanced toward Germany from the west, while the Soviets advanced from the east. By early 1945, Germany was trapped between 2 massive armies. In April, Soviet troops entered Berlin. Hitler committed suicide, and on May 8, 1945, Germany surrendered. In Europe, the war was over, but in Asia, the fighting continued. The United States used massive conventional bombing against Japanese cities, and in August 1945, it dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. At the same time, the Soviet Union declared war on Japan and invaded Japanese forces in Manchuria. Faced with total defeat, Japan announced its surrender on August 15, 1945. World War II was finally over. Chapter 7. Consequences and Legacy, 14 to 15. The human cost of World War II was almost unimaginable. Estimates vary, but more than 60 million people died, soldiers and civilians. The war also saw some of the worst crimes in history. The Holocaust, in which Nazi Germany murdered 6 million Jews along with millions of other victims. Mass killings, forced labor, and atrocities across occupied Europe and Asia. After 1945, Germany and Japan were occupied and rebuilt under Allied supervision. The United Nations was created, hoping to prevent future global wars. The United States and the Soviet Union emerged as superpowers, soon entering the Cold War. Borders changed, empires collapsed, and many countries in Asia and Africa moved toward independence. World War II didn't just end one era. It created the world we still live in today. If you found this overview helpful, consider subscribing and checking out our other videos, where we dive deeper into specific battles, leaders, and stories from the war.